bring the heat with speed, so won't you attempt to list inside your head, then make a list and check each one of my adjectives, and then one of my right on fit talks is gonna master to my totem pole, so y'all would know that when I get on my flags, that flow, y'all become froze in a gigantic pole that's almost late by now. What I'll say to self, and this was a mental note from a memo, bro. Some more that's memorable with momentum grow, and then y'all will get thick of it. Cause I'm just a little stinker with my head to sis, cause that would have been an actress that gets another part, because then the check would have been large, and I could bank that if you want. A whole bunch of things, put up your arms. A whole bunch of hogs that never stop till you're suffocated, dog, inside of a sarcophagus where you belong. It resembles a coffin if they ever dig it up. A whole bunch of this dig until the dog would have got with this whole bunch of coin offs. I'm in cooperation with y'all if y'all be nodding. If not, y'all can go break your necks to get something. I suggest the wall or butter knife them up, because then y'all would know from your nods, because then the knot in your gnome would have gone in a second with flow that I give into yo, because then you gotta give it up for show for this griffin with flow. He has a little fire in his toe that's gonna overflow like a pot that's boiling water for way too long and nobody watch. So nobody wait for this conquistador with this queso to pull all over your chips that will crisp, but not anymore. A whole bunch of this flow's gonna get overwhelmed like it's ivy that's grown attached to the flow, and then y'all see through your monocle, bro. I'm Monopoly flow. I taking it all. I'm not giving any back like I'm Jack Sparrow. I tattooed on my arm a whole bunch of boats that would rock until they stopped cause they capsized, dog. Now they at the bar for the crustaceans to live in and call it home. I just want to get a little cozy flow of my own. A bunch of them cantaloupes that I cut open and I flipped over like an Eskimo where it's froze in the tundra in the no, because then you would have known that I taught my tongue how to do half of the talent that's known inside of these souls. We'll all act as one, because that's a Duracell that I hold in my bar when I play these little drums, or them cymbals that's above, because then you would have known like Simba was held up, and then I would have held you up like a Carbos is just called. Will I say now, would you listen? Listen to right, the shit that was right, the shit that's gonna hit, and then when it does, it's called a collide. Shin with some of this facts that was a fusion of test, because then I would have said so simple after the fact, because then the artifact would have been formed. A whole bunch of them orcs that they manhandled around, cause the men were involved, them horses were all gone. I left over barn doors so they can go for a run. Horse of Garlic, now the horse of cars would fall, because I need to carve some more shit into the wall so they would know. Hieroglyphics was said with a whole bunch of hieroglyphs and the holograms to test, because then I would have said some hollow red or made this hollow halls after I did. A whole bunch of ghosts that haunt that bitch like a mansion that Luigi has. A whole bunch of flashlights are just one in the batteries in case it run out. But what if it slipped it out of his poem, because then the poems would have never known how to grow a coconut and make it fall, because then I would have said some beautiful, and you would have made out with the chick that you liked for a while. And that would have been according to the will, and the wish would have been grabbed with the will, or maybe that's just a fin of a flip that he has, because then I'm flipping my lip, because I would have said some flubbery test to that will would have got the limp to go, because then it would glow a little more than it did before, because that would have been the dent and woe it was waiting for, because all the woe will decide to snow because then the Z's were low because he wanted to pronounce a whole bunch of shit that he dreamed for yes. So when I take a drink in with this wind that I get inside the chest because then I haven't got excited yet with some of this inside of rip because you want the inside tricks. So won't you gather up enough of that gusto you got left in your gut so you can listen to some push that I just spiked myself. Spiked in the dark with a nod and put up a paw. He would have said something and run off into a doghouse, dog. It was like a bark, but I know what it was. It was a whole bunch of Bob Barker. Whole bunch I'm gonna get y'all with this car. And then when I pull, I'm not gonna stop, bro. It's like 4 different horses, different directions it go. You never know when the coast was closed because then I would have closed it for show. It would have been the final closure, bro, that you was aching for. A whole bunch of Troy Aiken flow as I mix a Jamaican flow because I just make it like so. Waterfall all over y'all, never stop until you were seeking the flow. I mix a quicksand where there wasn't sand before. So that would have been a whole bunch of knots for the ball that I won. A whole bunch of just stop and then I bossed them for y'all. It's a whole bunch of balls in this height. This would have got y'all overnight express a UPS with this set with sentences that I stack that kinda makes sense. A whole bunch of stints where there wasn't a snap before a reset. So why don't you stress this little sticker that I put like you did a good job. I pat you on the head. A whole bunch of just wanna light you up, inferno rub, because then I could have gone some clean rub and never stop over that place where you breathe. The oxygen and getting closer with each float. And then I'm foaming something on the table that spun like a ghost would come and hope if she was holding up for my pulse with the visual test. I don't care what she talking about, where her head's at, even if she talk English, bitch, cause 90% is physical. The language that you said, so won't you just reside in some more of this residue that collects a whole bunch of cobwebs after the spider left, because in despite of this, pass a visual test. It's just to say, even though I shot a Mario and I flow most of the time, it's just the way it goes. The way the flows is pulled by horse until they frozen cold, and then I thought, cause I'm the sun, maybe it's just the man. One of the stock, because then we would have got the point that I wanted to send across. A whole bunch of them crucifix that stuck with a single no, cause the stuff was something like no. Just wanna say this to the righteous mind, the cost, the gist of this is what I wanna do all of along, because my flesh was this. Then the time capsule rip would have got to the aliens bits, and that was the point all of along. So why don't you wait in the pond till it becomes a swamp and dry it up, because the sun way too hot, it's too cold, it's too gonna cause your heart a fall. We made with sticks and mud with these 2 hoes, and then the wish would have never got old, so she couldn't cast another spell. So she was old gone with flow, or maybe just her gown was pulled like she wanted to be bent some that was full in the table sit down, because this pole's almost done. It's the morning type flow, because then that would have been another promise fulfilled, and a promise grant, maybe genie from Limp, because he would have got a whole bunch of glow of that God particle we're talking about, because that would have been the classic poem, because that would have been some classics, yo. That would have been out the closet flow, just to find the emperor's new clothes, just to find it. You was it all of alone, yes.